Alright, y'all, we are back. A lot later than intended. And the reason why we're back later is because, I mean, with the past couple of days, it's been difficult with the track and field conditions for the athletes, because they're in Eugene, Oregon, and they're hitting record highs in terms of the heat. Like, they were supposed to start today at 7 p.m. Eastern time, but at that time it was like 4 degrees, and the track was 110 degrees. So they had to postpone it about a couple hours so that basically the heat would die down and the temperature would kind of get to a cooler state so that the track athletes can run, because it's not healthy for them to be running out there like that. But we are here, so I'm ready to talk about the last bit. And like I told y'all, this is about to be epic, and it just was. We'll get to that part that I'm talking about here in a minute. So let's just start off with, we will start off with the women's 200 meter. And we're going to talk about the top three that made it, and we're going to talk about Allyson Felix. You can't talk about Allyson Felix on her last Olympic trials. She made the team for the 400 meters, so she is going to Tokyo. She just missed out of the 200 meter team. But for her to get to the final and perform the way she did in the final, fantastic. But we're going to talk about all of the, we're going to talk about the entire team, and we're going to talk about their qualifiers, their semifinals, as well as their final times. So, in first, going to Tokyo first, is Miss Gabby Thomas. And Gabby Thomas she's special. She was in the 100 meter final. She was running, I think she finished 5th. She's a beast, like, and she put up numbers like, these numbers are insane. Like, you look at how she performed, she literally put up her own personal best in the qualifier, and then topped it in the semi, and then topped it in the final. She put up a 21.98 up against Jenna Pradini's 22.15, and these are qualifiers, and Anavia Battle. Her qualifier was 22.38, and these are the top three going to Tokyo. So it was Gabby, Jenna, and Anavia. So that was her qualifier times, and Allyson's qualifying time was 22.56. So if you calculate those and you see where they are, it's pretty much aligned with how they placed. The qualifier, Gabby had the lead, and then Jenna, then Anavia, and then Allyson. So for their semis, like I said, Gabby topped herself again, 21.94. Jenna Pradini topped herself, 21.99. Anavia topped herself, 22.32. Allyson topped herself, 22.20. And on that 22.20 with Allyson, that heat was a stacked heat. And I was wondering how she was going to do it. She was up against Jenna Pradini. When Jenna gets around that curve, the last 100, she's gone. And Allyson, in a way, kind of kept up with the rest of the field. And Allyson coming out and running, because she was in lane 9, and Allyson runs a straight better than just about anybody in the field. So she didn't have too much of a turn to deal with as the rest of the other girls did, which made it easier for her to get to that final. And that's what she did. And let's talk about the final. The final, like I said, Gabby Thomas, she just set the number 3 time ever. Hers was 21.61. And she ran that race in like the last maybe 20 meters. She was running with her arms up in the air, so she was not completely in form. So imagine her in form in Tokyo. That's going to be scary. Like Dina Ashley Smith, yeah, you got some competition, girl. Jenna Pradini ran a 21.89. Anavia ran a 21.95, and Allyson finished with a 22.11 in 5th place. Not bad for your final trials run, Allyson, but you know it's not over. You still got one more run in Tokyo. And I think she's going to do great. I really do. I want her to at least medal. Because Allyson's a beast. But she's got some competition. She's definitely got some competition in the 400. But can't count her out. She is a fighter. So next, I wanted to talk about a little, I'll talk about this later, because what she just did tonight was crazy. So we'll get to it, and I'm talking about Athing Mu. We'll get to her at the end. So now we're going to move on to the men's 400 meter hurdles. And we've got the top 3 finishers. We've got Rai Benjamin, one of my favorites. We've got Kenny Selmon and we've got David Kendziera. So, qualifiers. Rai put up 49-12 for his qualifier. And this qualifier was interesting because we kind of expected him to come out straight out the gate, pushing hard, straight out the blocks, coming down the backstretch in full speed, full dominance. And he was stutter stepping. He stutter stepped for like the first, maybe 4 or 5 hurdles. He was definitely stutter stepping, but he got it together. Once he got through the turn, he was able to cruise home, so that was good. And he put up 49-12. Kenny Selmon put up 49-03. And David put up 49-19 for his qualifier. Moving on to the semis, that is when he showed back up, Rai Benjamin. He stormed the backstretch. It was just coming down the first 200 in control, like dominating. And then he just got to cruise home once he got around that last curve. Easy. Put up 48-62. Kenny Selmon put up 48-51. That was the season's best for him. And then David, I actually didn't get his. So we're going to skip over that one. Now the final, Rai almost literally set a world record. He ran a damn near pretty perfect race. He stormed the backstretch, but he kind of saved a little bit more energy towards the end. Because once he got around that turn, that's when he was really pushing it. And he pushed that last 120. And he was pushing it home. Like, the knees was high up. Form was good. His legs was all the way underneath him. He was cruising home. And he literally almost broke a world record. Like, 46.84. Like, that's insane. Kenny Selmon finished with 48.08. And rounding out, David Kendziera, 48.38. I think that's a pretty solid team. Rai is one to watch for in Tokyo. Like, watch out for Rai. I'm not playing. So next we'll move on to the men's 110 hurdles. Another world record watcher, Grant Holloway. First of all, Grant, you get points just for the name alone. We got the same name. Not too many people. Let's talk about this. Not too many people have Grant as a name, but not too many black people have Grant as a name. I always meet a bunch of white Grants, so when I see a black Grant, it's always cool. Because I was named after Grant Hill, just in case you don't know. That is that. My dad and my mom both loved Grant Hill, the basketball player. So that's where my name came from. But let's talk about Grant Holloway. Grant Holloway, his qualifier was 13-12. He led the field completely, like at least a good hurdle. He was at least a good hurdle and a half ahead of everybody else in the field. Like, that was easy for him. We've got Devin Allen. I didn't get his qualifier or his semifinal. I just realized that. Same with Daniel Roberts of Kentucky. So, yeah, we got to talk about his semifinal. Grant Holloway's semifinal, he put up 12.81. Like, that is the second fastest time ever in the 110 hurdles. You watch how he literally runs those races. He's going 20 miles per hour in between each one of those hurdles. And then we move on to the final. We were all thinking that he was about to literally run a world record. We thought that world record was about to be broken, but just to even get to it, because the reason why, I think it might have possibly been a reason as to why he wasn't able to completely break that, because there was the false start. Now let's talk about these false starts, because these false starts and the hurdles, especially with the 110 hurdles, there was a qualifier or a semi. I can't remember which one it was, but there were 6 false starts. And it's very likely due to those blocks. Like, it wasn't much movement from the athletes, which was frustrating because it's like they're literally being played with. Because, I mean, that can mess with you. That can mess with you mentally. Like, after a certain period of time, you kind of think that after so many false starts, you kind of expect to not go. Like, and then that one time that it works, you might be thinking that you might not be needing to go, and you get left behind. But yeah, so in the final, they had a false start, but that was only one. So they finished, and Grant Holloway put up 12.96, Devin Allen put up 13.10, and Daniel Roberts put up 13.11. So that is your Olympic team for the 110 men hurdles. So I think Grant is going to put up a good number in the Olympics, and we might see a world record. So that's exciting. So now we are going to move on to Athing Mu. Athing Mu is 19 years old. She's fresh out of college. She just signed a Nike deal. Did she sign with Nike? I think she signed with Nike, yeah. She definitely signed with Nike. Okay, she signed with Nike. So now she is pro. And that girl is, she's one of a kind. That is a prodigy. There's 3 prodigies that you think of in the world of track and field when it comes to female athletes. And that is Allison Felix, that is Athing Mu, and that is McLaughlin. Like, those 3 girls are insane, and especially at a young age. But Athing Mu, she came straight out in her qualifier, and I'm just gonna gloss over this real quick because I didn't get too much. I don't know too much about the 800. I know it's 2 laps, but I've watched Athing Mu compete in NCAAs. She won the 400 about a couple weeks ago, and the 800 is her favorite. So she literally killed all 3 rounds. Like, she won the first one with ease. She won the second, the semi with ease. And she literally just won the final and stretched. She literally almost set an American record. Like, she's going to Tokyo as a 19-year-old, freshly pro. And I think she stands a very good chance of gold. And I'm very excited to see her. It's great to see a woman that looks like her doing so great and being able to represent for the darker skinned women. Darker skinned women, darker skinned men. It's not easy for them in life. They always get looked at a certain way. Don't get treated the way other people would. So it's really great seeing a dark skinned complexion black woman on this platform, getting the love and recognition that she deserves, and being able to put on for black women and being able to put on for black people, period. And she's doing that, and she's going to kill it, and I'm excited. Next, we are going to talk about the men's 200 meter. This one was a little bittersweet for me because I told y'all last week I was rooting for Terrence Laird. Terrence Laird won the NCAA 100 and 200, and he anchored the 400, the 4x100, and won that one for them as well. He didn't win the 200. What am I talking about? He didn't win the 200. He won the 100. But yeah, it's just, I was excited to see him. I wanted him to get on the team. I knew it could be a long shot, but I wanted him on the team. But he got to the final, so that was good. He just finished, I think, 6th out of 8. It's his first Olympic trials. There's going to be plenty more. He's just not gone pro. He signed a deal with Adidas. And yeah, this is just the beginning for him as well. So good luck to you, Terrence. I'm rooting for you in the future. But let's talk about the men that are on the team. We've got Noah Lyles. We've got Erriyon Knighton, the high schooler, 17 years old. He broke Usain Bolt's under 18 record. Like, he held that record for the quickest time. And he did that. He did that, and he also broke Noah Lyles' high school record in the qualifier. He put up 20:04. Noah Lyles put up 20:19, and Kenny Bednerik, he is the one that rounded out the top 3 as well in the final. So next, we've got their semifinal. Noah Lyles put up 1991. Erriyon put up 1988. Like, you put those two rounds up, Erriyon is looking like the favorite going into the final. He was the favorite going into the final. But he came up a little short. Noah Lyles won that final 1974. Kenny Bednerik 1978. And Erriyon Knighton 1984. I'm gonna say this. Don't count that 17-year-old out. Do not count that high schooler out. Like, I think he is going to do amazing things in Tokyo. Noah Lyles, he was looking, like I told you I think it was last week in the last video. Noah was looking like, in that 100, he was struggling. Like, qualifier, semi, and final. So he wasn't looking his best self. And then in the semis, the semis as well as the qualifier for the 200, I'm not going to say he wasn't looking himself. He was definitely looking better than the 100, but he still wasn't. He wasn't the Noah Lyles that we normally see. Noah Lyles, back in the day, like a couple years ago, he was like booming with confidence. Like, you could tell him shit. Like, he was literally doing what he was doing. setting records, just storming through the competition. This 17-year-old was showing him up, but he showed up in that final and he clinched his Olympic spot. So he's going through, Kenny Bednerik's going through, as well as Erriyon Knighton, so that's great. And now we are on to the main event. The showdown I've been waiting 2 years for. I've been waiting 2 weeks to see this, because this is what I've been excited about. And they knew to put Dalilah Muhammad and Sydney McLaughlin against each other at the last day of trials. So let's just talk about their entire journey so far. So we'll start off with Sydney. Sydney had the qualifier, her qualifier round. There were 4 false starts in hers. And like I said the last time, in 400s, there are rarely ever any false starts. Rarely ever, because it's super hard for them too to get out as well, get out hard. There was Meisberger. I think she was from Arizona. She kept, like, she was shaking in the blocks. Like, she kept shaking in the blocks. And it's like, how many times are you going to allow her to shake before you take her out and just disqualify her? Because it's not fair to the other girls. And you got Anna Cockrell over there who has been very vocal about her anxiety as well as just depression, period. And she was very, very nervous. And you could tell she was nervous. And each time she would get even more shaken up. And it was not cool to watch. And it was very, very frustrating. But yeah, so they ran. And Sydney just, she cruises. This is why I say Sydney is going to win gold. Because Sydney, she switched coaches. She was with Joanna Hayes. She's now with Bobby Kersey. And he had her running 100 hurdles this entire season. She had one 400 before getting to trials, but the rest of that was for a reason. And the first 100 that she ran, I want to say it was the Classic in January. And she ran that whole race with her left leg, which is her non-dominant leg. And she came flat last. And people thought it was crazy and like, wow, she's lost it. Or no, she was doing that for a reason. Like, she ran that left because that's the side that got her in the Worlds. That is what took that win away from her. I mean, I'm not going to say she didn't, that took the win away from her, because she was definitely in second place the whole time. But Sydney is known to run somebody down. And if she came off of that 8th hurdle at Worlds good, she would have ran down, I truly believe she would have ran down Dalilah, and she would have had that world record. But that was her weak spot, which I believe that's why she switched coaches, to work on those areas as well. She needed something new, and it's worked, because she looks comfortable switching legs. She stutter-stepped the last hurdle. But that was just one hurdle that she stutter-stepped. And she worked, and that was on the left side, but she worked the left side on the 9th hurdle as well. And didn't stutter-step that one. But she put up 44.07, and she was just running in, jogging, like she looked like she was just jogging. Dalilah Muhammad, 55.51 for her qualifier. Dalilah always comes out hard. When you see her, she's not the one that's scared to come out aggressive and attack the field, especially on the backstretch. Like, she comes hard the entire time. And that's what you gotta watch out for. That's why she is the world record. That is why she is Olympic champion, because she's not afraid to do what other girls are afraid to do. A lot of them are afraid to take the initiative and come out attacking the field, and that's exactly what Dalilah does. And she put up 55.51. That's good for her, because this is her second time running this entire season. So her getting back into it, she's looking like herself. I didn't get Anna Cockrell because I thought Shamir Little was going to be in the final. So I wasn't really keeping tabs, but I'm super duper happy for Anna, because we'll get to that in a minute. Hold on. So then we got semifinal. Sydney put up 53.03. This is when we knew Sydney was about to run a world record, because she ran 53.03. She was jogging that entire race. She literally was jogging. And that said it all. Like, we knew that was coming. Like, that world record was coming, and that she was going to snatch it. And I'm literally looking on the TV. Crazy. Dalilah ran 53.86. She came out hard, and she got pressed towards the end by Shamir. Shamir came and won that heat, but I thought to me, it looks like Dalilah was not trying to win that. She knew she had to save all of that energy for the final because it was a showdown between her and Sydney. So now we get to the final. The final, we're going to watch this final together. So hold on. Because this final was so good, I want to watch it with y'all. Like, it was that insane. A world record was broken. We're about to watch it. We are about to watch a world record be broken and set by none other than Sydney McLaughlin. I said it. I've been saying it for 2 years, and it finally happened. So here we go. Let's get to it.
Dalilah Muhammad is going to take this out actually aggressively, but I think Sydney McLaughlin can run her down.
The world record is 52.16. Let's see if either of these two women can challenge that.
Dalilah Muhammad always gets out fast and aggressive, and she is doing that right now. This is a woman who's only run 3 races up to this point. But when you talk about being a tactician and executing perfectly, that's Dalilah Muhammad.
But Sydney McLaughlin looks very comfortable through half of the race. And throughout the rounds, we have seen monster finishes by Sydney McLaughlin. Does she have one more? Because the world record holder is putting some distance between her and the rest of the field.
And look at Shamir Little come on the inside, got a little off balance there. This is Sydney McLaughlin challenging Dalilah Muhammad. Sydney McLaughlin gets ahead of the world champion and the Olympic champion. Sydney's time is now. And what does that time look like? 51.0. That's a new world record.
The first woman ever under 52 seconds flat. We had an inkling it was coming, Sonia. Sydney got it done. Her time is now.
What a race! And she couldn't have done it without Dalilah Muhammad. She set that race up perfectly. What a gutsy run from the woman who has struggled with injury and overcome COVID. She gave Sydney McLaughlin everything she had, but the confidence of the youngster to pull away in the closing meters. 51.90, her reward, a new world record.
Every time
McLaughlin, man, she is winning gold in Tokyo. I'm telling you, she is winning gold. Like, insane. Like, 51.9, sub 52. Like, nobody's ever done that before. And Sydney did that. She is the world record holder. I said it was going to happen. Everybody in the world said it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen, and she did that. And I'm super happy for her. Like I told y'all last week, she is my favorite female track star ever. And I'm rooting for her. I want her to win. And all respects to Dalilah Muhammad, too, because she's a beast as well. No disrespect to her. She literally broke 2 world records in 2 track meets. Like, that shit is no joke. And then let's talk about Anna Cockrell. Anna Cockrell, I don't know if that interview is on here as well, but she had an interview, no, it's not on here, but that interview that she had post-race, you could tell it was just, I got chills. Like, there was nothing I could say. Like, she literally was speaking about how just grateful she is to have been there. She couldn't believe that she did it. She's talking about how she was depressed in 2019. She didn't know she would come back, and she didn't want to do it anymore, and she was stressed out, and she was depressed, and she was just going through a lot. And for her to come here under that stress and her nerves, getting her nerves in control, being able to control that and get on an Olympic team with the 2 best in the world, it's beautiful to see, especially all 3 of them being black women. Beautiful to see. Like, this Olympic team is looking very black, like, especially on the women's side. Like, you got those 3, you got Dalilah, you got Sydney, you got Anna. For the 400 meter women, you got Allison, you got Waddling, and you've got Kendziera. And then on the 100 meter hurdles for the women, you got Kenny Harrison, you got Brianna, who possibly could be Gabby, and you got Christina Clemens. All 4 of those women are black women. And then on the 100 meters, you got Sha'Carri Richardson, you got Javian Oliver, and you got Tiana Daniels. Come on now. The black women are showing out. The black women are showing out. black men are showing out as well. Trayvon Bromell, he's taking this for the 100. Like, I'm very excited for Tokyo. I hope y'all join me on this ride. I hope you take everything that I'm saying in. And comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on the races. Let me know who you're rooting for. What you think is going to happen in Tokyo. And we'll just continue to talk about it, because I'm going to be here for Tokyo. I'm going to be doing the same thing. I think I'll be able to split it up a little better. Do semi-final one day, final one day, qualifiers one day. Do it like that. So I'm excited to be covering track from now on. It's my favorite sport, like I told y'all. But yeah, it is 127. It is I don't know if you can see that. It is 1:28. You can't see it. It is 1:28 a.m. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. 1:28 a.m. And I'm signing off because I'm tired. Bye, guys.